Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 5 is a game called Cell Damage HD on the PlayStation 4. It's also it's a cross-buy across PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Vita. Do you remember Cell Damage?
Yeah, I remember it vaguely, but I don't even remember what it was.
It was basically a timed launch exclusive for the original Xbox. And it eventually came to GameCube and PS2. But aside, obviously, from Halo, it was arguably the best of that launch lineup because that was not a great launch lineup. But it's basically a kart racer, stroke sort of twisted metal style car racing
That's
game.
right.
Yeah, it's very hectic. It's cell shaded, and you're given infinite ammo. The main system involves flipping your vehicle at the expense of control to earn boost. Which makes it really... I mean, if you're playing it in multiplayer, seeing all of these cars flipping around is very, very amusing, and doubly so because the tracks are very short when they're race tracks, and arenas, when they're sort of smash them up arenas, they're very small, so that it's just, it's a very chaotic game. It's the kind of thing where you can perfectly time your way around a hazard. For example, in one map there's a giant hammer and it will hit you in the face after you've timed your way around it and knock you into scenery that either you can't get out of or will subsequently knock you back off course to the extent that you're instantaneously a full lap behind the person in last place. It's one of those games that's got really, really antiquated breaks in it that this HD remix basically hasn't fixed. And it's the kind of game that's fun enough. I remember seeing it, and I think I played it a little bit back on the original Xbox, but it's the kind of game that's just about fun enough that you can imagine back in 2001 or whenever the Xbox came out, many a self-important devotee of the Xbox saying on internet forums that, I think it's actually better than Mario Kart. It's not better than Mario. It's not better than Mario Kart. And it's the kind of project that I'm kind of loath to dismiss because, why was this a candidate for a high definition remix? I don't really understand it. But there is an equivalent of this for everybody. Everybody had a game that they played like mad. I mean, if you bought an original Xbox and you wanted to make the most of it, you would have invested a lot of time into this. So the thought of playing it again in high def is probably quite appealing. But I don't think the target audience is gigantic for this. There are no trimmings to this HD remix, none whatsoever. It is the original game with an incredibly basic high-definition visual tune-up. There's still just 3 gameplay modes, there are no online leaderboards, and there's no online multiplayer, which is slightly mad because it's a multiplayer racer, stroke combat game. But then it was done, it's clearly been made on a budget, and there's a very small target audience for it. If you and a couple of friends played this to death back in the day and you still hang out and play games together locally, grab a few beers and you're going to have an unbeatable night's entertainment. But everyone else, and especially if you were born on or around the turn of the century, steer clear. There's nothing to see. It's very, very much an old game. But even though I didn't play it when I didn't play it a lot, definitely. I mean, I was just having weird pangs of nostalgia, even though I didn't play it until now. However many years it's done to invest any real amount of time. It's still, I don't know. There's something truer about this kind of HD remix. The fact that it's completely just the game, but nicer looking and slightly smoother. It runs great. I mean, it really does. It's full player, split screen, and it runs fantastically well. It's still that exact game, just looks nicer on HD console. So I don't know. There's something. I got nostalgic for it, despite the fact that I never played it. It's just HD remixes and updates these days. They are very, very. There's just too much that's added and too much that's changed, and I think there is something to just providing what was, providing the original, nicer looking, smoother, etc. But yeah, it's a passably entertaining game, and probably not worth investigating unless you played it back in the day.